Yo everybody, Mobile Gamers here, and Romancing SaGa did release some new characters. They look really awesome. Here they are just wandering around. We have Rocbouquet, Rocbouquet. I don't know, when I see her name, I'll be honest with you guys, when I see her name, to me it reads Robocop. So you might hear me call her Robocop. I'm just gonna do it. But it's kind of funny because she's like, where's my brother? And her brother's walking around right next to her. Because here's Noel. He is Rocbouquet, Robocop's brother. Whatever her name is. I kind of wish they would do something where, from interacting with these characters and having different sets of characters walking around, maybe you can unlock some stuff. That would be really cool. Also, I kind of wish they would hide some treasure chests and stuff like that around here. Just kind of make it more of an interactive environment to play in. That would be really cool. Last Claudia does a lot of stuff like that. We're always finding, bottles floating in the sea and treasure chests. So definitely something that I think they could do, especially if you have, different characters walking around here, and if you talk to them in a different order. Maybe you'll get something. That would be awesome. I think there's just so much potential for what they could do here. Here's the other new character right here, Dantarg. Dantarg, right? So this guy, he does look pretty gnarly. It's kind of cool that kind of letting us play with like beast-like characters. This guy looks like Goro from Mortal Kombat raped a cow and they had a baby, and that's him. I mean, he's a pretty gnarly looking character. Let's go ahead and take an actual peek at them. So, I had to pity my third character in this game already, and it's starting to look like that's just how it's going to be. So, what I plan on doing is, if I want a character, I better have 45,000 lapis saved up, because I'm probably going to have to pity that character. That's just the way that it's looking. I did the 150 pulls on this banner. I got 4 off banners, and the very last 150th pull was Robocop here. Rocbouquet. Bruh. So, since I got it with the last pull, I did pity Dantarg. Yeah, that's his name. So I guess I should feel lucky that I got both characters and I only had to pity one. I mean, it's sad to say, but that's what feeling lucky in this game is like, I guess. As far as the summons go, I got nothing bad to say about the actual game itself. Do love the game. I like the progression. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Everything, the combat's good, the story, everything's pretty wicked. And then you just get to the summoning system and you just want to rip your face off with a claw hammer. So I just feel like all these programmers are doing an awesome job making this game, and then their marketing department is stepping on the product, so to say. This game does not have a true 5% summon. I wish they would fix that. It's just embarrassing. And it's Square Enix or Squaresoft or whatever. This game company is a juggernaut in the gacha game world right now, and they should be held accountable. That's all I'm going to say for their summons. They should be held accountable. Hopefully soon they will acknowledge that, but until then, I'm just going to have to roll with the punches. I'm sure you all are going through the same thing, but at least the characters are kind of cool. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be saving for Bartholomew, the Ringmaster, and that's probably going to be my next pull, and I'm hopefully just going to grind out the 45,000 lapis to do it. Here's the one good thing I will say though, at least the only thing that is dividing paid lapis is just your daily single summon, because they could have divided paid and grinded lapis and just really made a mess of things. At least if you grind out 45,000 lapis, Even if it's not paid lapis, you can do all your summons with that, and you can still pity a character. So at least they got kind of that going for them right now. But let's actually take a look at these characters. Rocbouquet, or whatever the hell her name is, Robocop is amazing. She is a badass character. I will say that right now. I wanted this character for the simple fact that she's rocking multiple elements. She has 2 affinities, dark and water. It's kind of funny, but water actually produces her righteous thunder. So she's using water affinity to do thunder damage, which I believe this can be powered up with a staff that has water imbue on it. So even though it's water, you're still going to be able to power up righteous thunder with it. If I'm wrong on that, somebody please do call me out on it, and please explain to the class exactly how that's working, because I don't know, we're getting lightning out of water, but hey, it is what it is. So she has Water of Life. This is really cool. It is a water affinity, of course. It's called Water of Life. So it's nice to be able to have a second healer in the party other than Sophia. So, just off of that, I was already interested. And Water of Life pretty much just works like Sophia's move does. And obviously it's water affinity too, so if you have a staff with water on it, it's going to power up Water of Life, and you're going to get more healing out of it. So that's awesome. Okay. That's not letting me click on it. Energy Storm is an AoE, and this is Dark Element. This is Dark Affinity. So in order to power this up, you are going to want to put a Dark Staff on her. We can see her affinities here. It's water and dark. So this is like one of those characters that, depending on what you're doing, you're probably going to want to grind out 2 different staffs for her. One with each affinity on it, a water staff and a dark staff, for the fight that you're going into. But Righteous Thunder, I think, is really cool. Let's see. Well, there we go. Here we go. This is where I can click on them. Alright, so Water of Life, depower, single ally, heals them. Pretty awesome, because it is a healing spell. We went over that. Energy Storm. It is C power, which is okay for an AoE, but it doesn't cost that much BP, right? Like, this is starting off at 10. You can obviously get this down to 9 when you level this up. Attack far, indirect, all foes. So it's AoE, shadow, all range attack with C power. Very nice. It's nice to have different affinity attacks. Different enemies are going to be weak to different things, and it's just nice that she has 2 of them. And then we have Righteous Thunder. It does show lightning or thunder, a little thunderbolt right here, but if you actually look at the spell right here in the top right corner, it is water affinity. So let's see, and this one is dark affinity, like it should be. So yeah, actually having water affinity on your staff will power up Righteous Thunder. The power on this is a B, so it is a little bit more powerful than Energy Storm, which has a C power. It also costs significantly more, but that's because it also has an effect. Like, this is costing 14 BP. It's going to do more damage. This is her big AoE. All foes, lightning. And this is really why I wanted this character, because I wanted some lightning damage. I don't have any other characters developed with lightning damage. And this one also doubles as a healer, which is a really big deal in this game. And she just looks cool as hell. So I was like, yeah, let's get this girl. So this is going to be an AoE B-type power, right? 14 BP. Not the cheapest thing in the world, but definitely worth it. And it has the effect that when the attack hits, inflicts paralysis on the target. It's a low chance, but it's for 4 turns. So she can play very well with other characters that break paralysis resistance. Here's what's really good about paralysis. It lasts for up to 4 turns at a time. That's a big deal. Stun is only for 1 turn. So you can potentially do a lot with this, and it is lightning, and things are weak to that, so that's kind of why I peeped this character out and I wanted her. But it's really a combination of the Righteous Thunder and the Water of Life. That's what I got excited about. As far as abilities go, she has Fighting Spirit 2. When landing an attack, increases her own intelligence, medium chance, large effect. This is very nice. It's going to help her crank out a lot more damage. She doesn't have to get a kill to activate this. All she has to do is smack somebody in the face with her staff. It's very nice. And she does have Hardy Wallop 3. She has to be at full hit points, but then her damage increases by a large effect. So the thing is, she is a healer, so she can throw a heal on herself before she dumps one of her big AoEs. So I'm not really a huge fan of Hardy Wallop, but with this girl, I could kind of make an exception, right? Because Sophia doesn't have to heal her. She can kind of prep herself for her big attack, no matter what Sophia is doing. So that's my big issue with Hardy Wallop, is if you have multiple characters that have taken damage, you're probably going to heal up the character that you want to survive. You're not going to be so worried about topping off characters so that they can have a damage increase. Well, this girl can top herself off, so you know, she kind of has an extra leg to stand on when it comes to Hardy Wallop. She also has Charming Wink, right? Start of the round, inflicts charm on a random enemy, low chance, 4 turns. Charm's really awesome because, well, your enemy effectively joins your team. He turns around and starts attacking. He starts attacking the other enemies. So it can be very useful, especially if she can charm a powerful enemy to, you know, join your side for 4 turns before you have to finish him off. So all in all, pretty awesome stuff right here. Mostly what I was excited about is obviously the Water of Life, the Righteous Thunder, and her awesome looking sprite. The wings are wicked. She is definitely a cool character. You know, she is an attacker. She has some spell affinity. We went over that. She uses staffs. Alright, so this is the creme de creme on this banner just because she is a healer and everything else we talked about. But then they also decided to give us Dantarg, this big juggernaut, behemoth looking thing. First thing to note about him, he is a martial artist, right? When I saw this character, I kind of expected him to have like a sword or an axe. That would just kind of be more fitting. But apparently Dantarg just likes to run around and punch people in the face. I don't know what kind of martial arts he's doing since he's like half horse. I mean, I'm sure a horse kick would hurt, right? And actually, he does have kick, so he hits you with that horse kick. But the fact that he is a martial artist, you have to keep in mind that his damage formula is going to be based off of strength and agility for damage. So it's not just all strength. You do have to power up his agility as well. I honestly think if he had an axe, he would just do so much damage because it would all be coming off of his strength stat. This guy does have a freakish strength already. He also is very durable. I mean, you probably tell just by looking at this guy, he is a stat stick, right? He just has good, beefy stats all around, very durable. Mine is only level 10, so that's why we're looking at him in here, because it's kind of pointless to look at mine. But I can tell you this, comparing him to other fresh characters, he is very durable. So he's going to come with kick. Oh, let's go into the other menu. He's going to come with kick. This is C power. Pretty standard stuff for 5 BP. Punishing Palm. This is an AoE. This is nice. For 11 BP, that can be reduced. This is C power. And it's a move we're all familiar with. It's an AoE. It's going to do, you know, some solid damage. And that's what this guy pretty much is doing in this class. He's bringing out some pretty heavy AoEs. Everything he's going to be doing though is going to be martial arts bludgeoning damage. So there's no fancy type of affinity associated with his attacks. But finally, his creme de creme is knockout, right? And if you look at the damage difference, it's pretty substantial. Going from C power to A power is a big deal. This is one of the hardest hitting AoEs in the game right now. Actually, I have to double check what Noelle's is. I think Noelle's is a B, right? It's gonna do more than Punishing Palms. Noelle's also has a dark affinity to it, so you can power up his AoE by putting dark on his weapon, right? But this guy it's A power. It does cost 15 BP, which can be reduced, and it's pretty much straightforward. Everybody gets hit with A power, and this guy has powerful stats, so he's going to be hitting high numbers, high AoE damage. And as far as his abilities go, Fighting Spirit 2, Strength. This is really nice. This is, in my opinion, an upgrade of what Noelle has. For Noelle to increase his own strength with this Fighting Spirit ability, Noelle actually has to get a kill. So you have to be fighting multiple enemies. Noelle has to get the killing blow on one of them. Then he gets a strength bonus, and he can use that against the other enemy. The problem I'm sure you guys can tell what the problem is with that. The solution is this: Fighting Spirit 2. When landing an attack, increase your own strength, medium chance, large effect. This is going to proc and increase his strength off of just an attack. So you're always going to be procking this. And when you're fighting a big single target boss, you're going to proc this. Noelle is not going to proc his strength increase against a single giant boss, because Noelle has to get a kill, right? By the time he gets a kill, the fight's going to be over. This guy, all he has to do is punch you in the face, his strength goes up, and it's a large effect. This is very nice for a starting ability. Absolutely love it. He also gets Draining Attack 3. This is a great level 10 ability. I absolutely love it because this is going to keep this guy healed. When landing an attack, recovers own hit points, medium chance, medium effect. That's great. It really is. It's going to keep this guy healed. And remember, like I said, he's already a stat stick, so he already has a high end. He's not going to be taking as much damage, and now he's going to be healing some of it up. And he gets fired up 5. Yeah, that's 5. Yep. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 5. Alright. Attack damage increase, large effect. It's one of my favorites because this is just great. It's on all the time. There's no stipulation to it. You don't have to kill anybody. Your attack is just up all the time. It doesn't matter if your health is full or half full. You're fired up all the time. So this guy is cranked up, good to go. And this translates into a lot of damage, right? Some self-sustain, strength increase, and then with this fired up ability, it's just a ton of damage. And he has good modifiers for his AoEs. I do believe from his other class, he also gets Stomp, which makes sense because he is like a horse person. But for the most part, he's going to just be doing strict martial art damage. But if the fight calls for it, he might just be one of the best candidates. So, personally, I think the one to go for on this account is obviously Rocbouquet. But hey, if you get Dantarg along the way, you can probably use him. He's pretty gnarly. They both have an S-class that we unlock. So, the fights have been good. It's been quite the little experience going through. I will say this, they just gave us some shrines. Make sure to check all of the tabs because I almost missed these things. And like one of them is for Aline. It unlocks some golden puzzle pieces and some of the pieces for her. So it's very nice that they're doing that if this thing would ever load. Alright, so here's our event. Dantarg attacks, great. It's right above Noelle attacks. And then if you look at the tab to the right of it, there's Tower, and that's where we get the Demon Tower for Robocop. And then right next to it is Shrine. So we have Lost Memories Julian and Lost Memories Aline. Yeah, guys, clear these out. They're very easy to do. You're pretty much just getting some lapis from just reading a paragraph. And, you know, especially for Aline, do these. Don't forget about them. Also, this tower, there is some stuff that looks kind of grindable here when we get to the very hard. Here are finally, I believe this is the first S plus accessory, and the differences here, this accessory that they're giving us is going to help us pretty much stay awake, right? This is like an anti-sleep, because yeah, this looks like it's giving you some sleep resistance, which I don't know why it's called a beast rune, but the plus is giving you 26 as opposed to the regular one is only giving you 20. That's a good chunk of difference. I don't know if you want to really grind out a bunch of the plus beast runes. It might take you a lot of time. You know, I would just grind out 4 or 5 of these in case you have to go into a fight where somebody's putting everybody to sleep and you need to protect your whole party against that. So I would pretty much just kind of grind that out. There's obviously a B form of this. It's only giving you 8. I would at least try to go for the 20. And especially if you have any of these new characters to grind out along the way, these maps are easy. They're good experience. Just run them over and over again. Here's the party that I ended up making. Obviously I have Noel here just because he's awesome. I have Sophia. And I have... what is the main character's name? My goodness, Polka the tank. And then, you know, these two just kind of tag along just to trying to grind out some stats and stuff along the way, right? They're really not doing much right now, but they're surviving, they're leveling up, they're definitely making some progress. And on levels like this, I can grind these out over and over on auto, and it works out really well. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to auto run some of these harder levels probably, especially since these characters are level 10 and with like 100 hit points. But let's see. That was the very hard. What's on hard? Let's see. What do we got over here? Are these the same thing? It'd be nice if they were something different. No, they are beast runes. So I did see that there was some other stuff. Are these beast runes too? Please tell me there's something else. Yeah, they're all beast runes, right? But obviously you have a better chance of grinding them out on the harder difficulty and getting the beast rune plus accessory. So guys, make sure to do that. And they might not seem like the most important thing right now, but once we get to a boss or something that is just putting everybody to sleep, you might just want to do that and have some of those ready, at least 3 or 4 of them. That is just what I would do. That's what I'm doing. So I wish you all the best luck as well. Let's see. Oh, there was another character. Your boy has to backtrack a little bit. With the last video I made, I did forget something. Okay, I messed up, and I'm sorry. Pretty much on this last banner, and I did cover this, here it is. We talked about the final emperor, like he's pretty cool with his purple cape, right? Jamal, I miss Jamal. We talked about him a little bit, and I gotta say I completely overlooked this guy. Okay, it's funny, I did, like, what was it, 50 pulls on this banner. I didn't get anything. And then for the first time ever, I actually pulled an SS unit off of a single pull, and it was Jamal. I'm just going to call him Jamal. I got friends named Jamal. It's easier for me to say. So Jamal here, he is actually very badass, and I did not realize that when I was kind of looking over him. I knew he had some stun resist. He does have an affinity, which is cool. Alright, and it all kind of ties in. So here's the thing. If we go to... Actually, you know what? Hold on. here's the thing. Let's go to trial first of all, because one of the first things I would like to point out is triple star is just pretty damn cool. Look at this thing. It's like magic missile. Boom, boom, boom. I just think it looks cool, right? So it's always nice to see that. I got to give him some props on the sprite. Man, I just blotched sprite and props. Anyway, he does look cool. I dig his little hat. His sprite doesn't look as purple as his portrait, but hey, he does look cool. And like I said, I got to give him props for that. I personally think he looks cooler than the Final Emperor. And I'm not just being biased because I got lucky and pulled this guy, because really, this guy was just going to kind of sit on a bench. But when I actually started looking at this character and putting together what he does, you know, also factor in he has an affinity, so don't forget about that. He's a short sword user, so he's going to be using dexterity, I believe. I had a cheat sheet somewhere here. Let's see, dex, attack, accuracy, guns, bows, and short swords. So yeah, this guy is proccing off of dex, right? And we can also power up his sword with wind. The thing is, we have to wait for the next batch of content to come out, because currently there's nowhere to grind out a short sword with wind affinity on it. So this guy has room to grow. As soon as they drop some more content, it's going to be one of the first weapons I grind out just to see what he can do. But, you know, besides triple star looking really cool and doing some good piercing damage, this is SS damage, so this is kind of what he finishes people with. The big deal that he has is actually fired up 3, attacks increase, medium effect, and that's always, so I always like that. And the big one is immunity down 3, stun. Now, as I said, paralyze is better than stun because it's for up to 4 turns, but stun is still very nice, right? Especially with a character that has a very high agility, right? Because if you have a high agility, you go first, and if you go first and you stun the enemy, you can effectively block their turn. So I kind of knew that this guy did that, and I thought that was the full extent of it. I just kind of thought that was it. Like, he's going to break people's stun resistance, and then he's going to go first, and then hopefully he's going to stun them, and they're going to waste their turn. All in all, that's pretty cool, right? But what I didn't notice, and what really takes it to the next level, he also has self-improvement, so that will help him charge up triple star quicker. For after enemies are stunned, he can use triple star to just, you know, wreck them, right? So, you know, just looking on face value, like, this is cool and all, but really you have to look at one of his other forms, because, and this is what got me looking, he has wind affinity, but I don't see any wind abilities here, right? So what I did is I decided to look Jamal up and see what he has. Where is it? To see what Jamal has in one of his other kits, in one of his other styles, and that is when I was very happily surprised. I'm actually thinking Jamal might be the one to pull for on that banner, because the Final Emperor is pretty basic, right? It is triple S damage. We have a lean for that. But really, here, let's just look into this. Where is little Jamal? And actually, I got to figure out which one of them it was, because there is 2 other versions of Jamal, which is nice because it's just that many more moves he can take into battle with him. Are we not scrolling down anymore? Where is he? Here we go. I think it is his S class. Yes, okay. So this is what makes Jamal very interesting. This is his S class, is where his wind affinity actually comes from, because he has blinding thorns, right? We look at blinding thorns, it's D power, but that doesn't really matter. It costs 11 BP, which can be reduced. It's slashing instead of piercing, so that's kind of cool because it kind of changes things up for him, because now not only can he do some slashing damage, He can also do piercing with everything else. But what's cool about it is it hits everybody. It's an AoE. When this attack hits, it inflicts stun on the target, medium chance. Ineffective against floating enemies. There's, I mean, we fight some floaters, but for the most part, this is going to be effective against a lot of things. I would say probably like 70-75% of things this is going to be effective against. And this is an AoE, and remember, he can break your stun immunity by hitting you. So, you could be fighting 5 enemies. You can throw an AoE, because I believe the other thing he has is, well, you can't use them together because you're either going to bring one or the other. The point is, he can use this to hit everybody, and then everybody has a chance of getting their stun resistance decreased. And then he can throw it again next turn, and he can pretty much AoE stun a lot of people at the same time. That makes him worth it. I wholeheartedly believe that, on top of the wind affinity that he has. And Blinding Thorns does use wind, so this can be powered up with the proper sword, like I said. So actually Jamal is pretty damn gnarly, right? I don't have anybody else that can actually AoE reduce stun resistance and then AoE stun everybody. So that's pretty cool. He does look cool. And when you're all done with this whole Blinding Thorn stun trick, he's not exactly a one-trick pony, because he also has his little magic missile shot, which is double S damage to finish enemies off, hopefully after they're stunned. So to me, that's really cool. This guy is solid, and he is useful. And I'm going to have to go out on a whim here and say that he's actually probably more useful than the Final Emperor. The Final Emperor has triple S damage. This guy has double S damage, but this guy can also AoE stun everybody, take their turn away, and that can also be powered up with an affinity. The Final Emperor does not have an affinity yet. Well, it's called Dark Blade, but I don't think it actually has a dark affinity. Let me just double check that so I'm not wrong. If it does have a dark affinity, then the Final Emperor is a little bit cooler than what I was just thinking he was, because then that's triple S damage that you could power up with an affinity, but I don't think they did that for him. Let's see. It's called Dark Blade. He has light affinity, but Dark Blade, his triple S damage, is not, you can't power it up with any affinity. And actually, if you give this character a sword with holy property on it, it's gonna probably power something up in his other class, something like Light Ball, which just kind of has a chance to decrease the accuracy of your enemy. It's not really going to do that much damage. The point is, if you do that, you're not adding anything to Darkblade, right? Effectively, if you want Darkblade to do the most, then you got to give this guy a sword with a high strength boost. That's what you're going to want. Well, the thing is, right now, and I don't know if it's always going to be like this, but right now we have to choose between an affinity power-up or a stat power-up. So you're either going to have +4 strength on that sword, or you're going to have, holy affinity on that sword, which is going to power up Light Ball for him, or whatever holy affinity move that he gets from one of his other kits, right? Because I don't see one here. Yeah, these are all standard sword attacks. So to me, the Final Emperor is just kind of boring. Yeah, he has that triple S, but Jamal is way more useful in my opinion, and he still has a double S move, right? Instead of a triple S move, he's got a double S move on top of all the stunning he does, the AoE, so that's cool. Let's see, does he have any kind of crazy ass abilities that make up? Oh, that's the other thing too. What I don't like about the Final Emperor is he has Hardy Wallop. He has to be at full hit points. Now granted, because he has Fired Up and he has Hardy Wallop, It's going to be some nice substantial damage when both of these are working for him, but your healer's going to really have to watch this guy and keep him at full health. And then you want to drop Dark Blade to really maximize damage, right? But a lot of that damage is going to get cut out as soon as this guy takes even a hit point of damage on him. So it turns into one of these things where you want max damage out of this guy. Your babysitter kind of, or your healer kind of has to babysit him, right? Now with Aline, it's the same thing. I think Aline has Hardy Wallop too, as well, probably 3. And yes, my healer kind of has to babysit Aline. It's the difference between her hitting for 7,000 and 11,000, or something around there. The thing is, though, Aline has a critical ability built into her triple S damage attack. And she actually has abilities in here that increase how much crit she does. To me, that's more interesting, because really you're going to want to use these characters. You're going to divvy up specific content for them, right? So there's no one-size-fits-all type deal in this game. You're going to want to switch your party around depending on what type of enemy that you're fighting. And to me, anything that's a plant now, I can just put Alina in, and she's going to do awesome crit damage to that thing with the triple S attack. And if I really want to go balls to the wall, all I have to do is make sure that Aline is fully healed so that Hardy Wallop kicks in, and not only is she hitting with that triple S, she's hitting it with critical, and just, you know, the critical's getting empowered from her kit. So all in all, that's why I'm not that excited about the final Emperor. He was the final Emperor and he was the last one. But all in all, Jamal, I gotta say, I did overlook Jamal, and I was just kind of like, yeah, he's okay, but no, I gotta change my vote, guys. Democracy, I gotta change my vote. Jamal is the one to go for on this banner, IMO. I think he's way more useful. You're going to be able to use that stun all over the place, AoE, and then triple star looks cool, double S rank damage. You really can't go wrong just because of how awesome this guy is, right? So I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to cover that. I think that's the only thing I missed last time, unless, hey, the comments are open. You know, leave a comment, let me know if I missed something, or if you want something covered, or if you don't agree with something. So I'm still trying to learn a lot about these games myself. But yeah, here are these new characters running around, and then, like I said, I wish they would interact with each other. And oh, look at that, it almost looked like he was gonna talk to Noelle. Nope. Like I said, though, I am excited for, I think the last banner I'm really going to be pulling for is going to be the Ringmaster, and I forget what the other guy's name is. He was one of the 7 heroes. Bartholomew in the story mode right now. Bartholomew is running around with this other guy who claims that he's one of the strongest 7 heroes. I would like to see them on the banner soon. Then look at RoboCop here. She just looks awesome. She looks so sweet with her little wings. I gotta say, even her S class looks pretty damn gnarly. She's got like these little orbs floating around her. She looks really cool. Look, only Wagnus and my brother matter to me, but your brother's right over there and you don't even know it. Yeah, brother, where are you? I don't know, he's only standing a block away from you. It'd be nice if you could actually go over and talk to him, and then, like, I don't know, give me some epic gear or something. I mean, not even epic gear, just like some S-class gear would be cool. You know, a sword or a staff with a couple bonus points in it, something. They really need to do something like that. I just feel like this whole town, we have so much prime real estate that's just getting wasted, right? There's no treasure chest being hidden. There's really nothing, and I really think they could do something about that. So, I'm gonna have to relaunch because it looks like our screen is stuck. I cannot pan over to the right. So I think we're gonna end it there. Everybody, I wish you all the best luck pulling on these banners. And like I said, this girl right here, she is definitely gnarly, right? Just with her healing, and for me, with the lightning damage that she's going to be doing. Because I've been peeping out some of the monsters that I'm fighting, that I have a difficult time with, and one of them is weak to lightning and ice. And I haven't been working on a lot of the other mages. I have Emerald to do a lot of magic damage, but she's only doing fire. So when I saw this, and I was like, this girl can cover the lightning for me, and she can do some dark, and oh yeah, she can heal on top of that, and she's got these wings and she looks cool. Bet. So we did have to pity, well no, actually, I'm sorry, we did have to pull her. We had to pity Dantarg here. Dantarg. Man, I'm never going to get used to these names. But Noel's name I can always say. This guy's awesome. I love his little murder ribbons. He's just sweet looking. So, best of luck to everybody. I'll talk to you guys soon. Comments always open. Have a good day, everybody. Well, I mean, not as good as mine, but make sure you do alright out there. Peace.